Yeah. Adjusted too messy. Walt.
Hey there, Walt.
Hello. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Hey, Walt.
Oops, I'm gonna switch screen.
Patrick, you look exactly the same as from last week. Have you moved since then? I probably look the same too.
Yeah. I have on a different shirt.
I'm not sure if I do. One of the benefits of Zoom.
That's right. There's no smell-o-vision.
Hi, Susan and John.
Hi, Susan and John.
Hey.
Hello. Hey, Susan. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
What a prompt group. Hang up. Yeah, we can go.
All right, everyone. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. We are glad that you all have chosen to participate today. We are featuring a repeat of this training with a second group on Thursday. So congratulations, you are one of our guinea pigs for our very first Zoom training session. We're also recording the trainings for those who are not able to join us, and for those of you who are just so enthralled by our performance today that you would like a copy for your own enjoyment. This will be a very quick 30 minutes thanks to the time limit by the free Zoom package. You know, we're trying to save money around here, but thank you for staying with us as campaigners, as members, and mostly as volunteers and donors. So we're going to show you a quick video. Please enjoy.
Okay.
These are unprecedented times. Times that challenge the way in which we at the YMCA work to strengthen community as we have for nearly 170 years. At our core, the Y is about relationships. We bring people together from all backgrounds, ages, and circumstances, fostering connections within and across communities. But we're also nimble. The Y has always found ways to help people and communities in times of crisis. Right now, Ys across the country are providing emergency childcare for healthcare workers and first responders, food for children without access to school meals, shelter for at-risk populations, and outreach to seniors who face social isolation. This work is the lifeblood of our mission, and when this crisis is over, the Y will be there to help our communities recover. But we can't do it alone. Whether you're connected to the Y today or have a fond Y memory, you're part of our family, and we need you to stay with us. Stay connected with your Y, stay connected with your community, and stay connected with each other. Reach out to your local Y today and stay with us for a better us.
All right, let's get my screens back. All right, so am I muted? We are not muted, good. So YMCAs across the world have had to quickly adapt and respond to the COVID crisis. It has been a collective effort between our volunteers, members, staff, and donors to keep the Y movement alive and to make sure that we are able to continue to serve our community. At our kickoff event last week, Walt shared some of the great things that Twin Rivers Y has been able to do thanks to the members and donors who have stayed with us. These include childcare, remote learning, and over 1,000 check-in calls to at-risk members, and our blood drives. Blood drives hosted at Twin Rivers Y and New River Y are responsible for 25% of all of the units collected by Ys across the state during the crisis. There's no hiding the fact that this year's campaign will be a little different. How we approach prospective donors and how we proceed as successful campaigners will definitely be challenging. But we're the YMCA, we are flexible, and together we can do anything. Leading to the campaign, we have sent letters, case statements, pledge donation cards to everyone who has made a gift in 2018 and 2019. This was mailed on around October 1st. I'm sure that many of you received the letter. So far, we've seen a great response. And if some of your donors that are assigned to you as a campaigner have already made contributions, we will be identifying them in your campaigner packets so that you are able to express your personal thanks. The letter reminded the donor of their gift amount from last year and also indicates that a volunteer will be contacting them about making a gift. And we'll be sending a follow-up email tomorrow with an online donation link and the video that was shared at our kickoff that highlighted the water safety program, since our programs are still important and we want them to stay relevant in our donors' mind. On October 28th, we will have your campaigner list and your donor cards ready for you. And you have several options to collect these. You can either pick them up at the Y, they can be personally delivered by Kelly and myself in a socially distanced, safe way, or we can send them to you electronically. So whichever you would like for us to do, please let us know. Kelly and I are here to serve you and help however we can help. Please do not hesitate to ask us. For example, one of our campaigners has drafted a personal letter to their donors already, and we are merging and mailing this for them. If we can do that for you, just let us know. And we know this campaign will look and feel different for our donors and our campaigners. You might even face some challenges. Kelly's going to talk to you about how you can overcome some obstacles and turn them into opportunities.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. And, you know, this is going to be different, but like everything that we have had to adjust to in the YMCA since March, we're trying to find the opportunities and the positives that are going to help us grow and raise the dollars that we need to keep our YMCA strong and serving the needs of our community. And, you know, it starts with a real simple thing. And this is something we would also be saying if we were, if the COVID-19 virus hadn't happened, we would be saying this same thing. And that is, let the donor speak for themselves. But with what's happening right now with the virus, it's going to be really easy to speak for that donor. So the one thing I want to start by saying is in your conversations, you know, fight that temptation to say, I know that, you know, your spouse, you know, may have lost their job or may have had their hours cut, or you have 3 kids in college, those types of things. It's so easy to lean on that and make the decision for the donor to not give or to come down with their gift. I admitted during the kickoff, 24 years in this work, and I fight myself from doing that every day because you're having real conversations, and that's what we hope for. But that's something that, you know, donors really want to give what they want to give. But the human nature of us wants to, you know, have them backpedal and slide with us. So fight that urge if you can, and it will serve us well. Aaron is going to pop up here a document that we put together that's going to show what we think will be the obstacles that donors will be putting forward this year. And this looks a little different than what we trained on last year when we talked about overcoming those obstacles. So we've made it specific, you know, to the real world reality that we have right now. So that first obstacle that we anticipate hearing is, hey, I stayed with you during the months that I couldn't use the YMCA while you were closed due to COVID. So now you're asking me for a gift. Well, first of all, it's a great opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for staying with us because of all the great things that you saw happen in the video. What we did here in Twin Rivers, we did the phone calls to seniors, the wellness calls. We helped deployed volunteers to help in certain spots with some food delivery, things of that nature. So that helped us continue to serve the community, even though it was not in the way this community was used to always seeing us. And then your membership also helped with blood drives, and then the child care, you know, that was provided as we adjusted to the school's needs with remote learning, and then summer camp that we provided as well, all socially distanced and safe for parents needing that, which was not an easy thing to do this year with the guidelines and the rules and all of those things. So, please stand with us as we strive to provide financial assistance to those in need to continue those programs. Needs to be the messaging that we continue as we move forward with the campaign. Things that have changed at work, and I am not sure if I can afford to make a contribution right now. That's another thing that we expect to hear, and will be very real, as many of us on this call have experienced a loss in salary or a spouse's loss of a job. So use empathy, understand, and don't just gloss over that, ready to overcome that obstacle, but use empathy, and sorry to hear that, and wish them well, and hopefully things improve. But let them know that the financial assistance program will be more important now than ever, to help with those financial burdens and strains that individuals like they may be experiencing, or like we're experiencing. This is also an opportunity, and I've seen this happen, and it's the wonderful part of who we are and the why. Is somebody that's been a donor, it may be an opportunity for them. They may qualify for financial assistance. So, that's who we are. So don't be afraid to have that conversation as well. And it's really important this year, I think, and Todd always wanted this to be a Twin Rivers thing, that we had more pledges instead of people making their straight up gifts. The beautiful thing is you don't have to chase the money. You know what you get with so many of our donors that we have here. But the reality is, when you look at all the data in giving, if donors do a pledge process and extend that pledge over time, they typically give significantly more. So during this time now, we're pushing that out quarterly, monthly, whatever fits the donor's needs is an important thing. So talk about that opportunity to pledge when having those conversations, if that is an obstacle about not being able to give right now. Another obstacle that we anticipate is, in this time of great need, how can I be certain that my gift will be used most efficiently and personally benefit individuals and family that truly need financial assistance? We hear that in any campaign, and the answer on that is to educate that potential donor that the Y takes that very seriously. And we have our financial assistance applicants fill out paperwork that allows us to do some basic checks to ensure that they really do need the financial assistance that they have applied for. So that's a situation where that answer would be the same now as it would have in last year's campaign. But donors are probably going to be even a little more selective and a little more particular because of what we've been going through with the job loss, job reduction, all the things that are real. So that's something to be prepared for and be ready. And then this is really another thing that you're gonna likely hear. I've heard it a couple of times already with some of our major donors, and that's, I see fewer members using the YMCA. So wouldn't this mean less of a need for financial assistance? Well, it's a great question for a potential donor to ask, and one that's wanting to make sure their dollars are used well. So be transparent, be open and honest. One of the YMCA's core values of honesty, and admit the Y has seen a drop in our usage in program areas. Staffing and budget cuts have been made to offset that. Physical distancing and building capacity limitations are in place. So that's part of why you're seeing fewer people in the building. That's by design. And we all know the confidence of some of the members to come back just isn't there yet. And that should improve over time, but be honest about that. And also let the potential donor know that first-time applicants for financial assistance are likely expected to increase significantly. So as we move through this process and we start to get more members and potential members coming back in, it's going to be a situation where we anticipate the need for financial assistance to increase. And then what the Y is doing outside of basic financial assistance of the community outreach and those types of things that take dollars to do that. You know, we've always pushed financial assistance, financial assistance. It's got to be much broader now of that general operation of our YMCA. We have seen with a lot of the large gifts that we receive from foundations, where they typically had been very specific to a program area that they wanted to give and wanted it all tied to that. They have loosened that up because what they've realized is it doesn't matter about that program and that specific. If the Y's doors aren't open, all that investment they've made over the years, Bosch locally is a great example of that. They typically give us somewhere in the range of $20,000 to $25,000 a year, and it's always needed to go for an item, a specific type of equipment, typically STEM related. But they have a great vision in their foundation, and they saw that what does all that investment they've made over the years matter if the Y doesn't keep its doors open. So understanding that general support is going to be something that donors will typically be more open to. And as we educate them on that need and tying all this together, hopefully we can do that. And another thing, when you hear that about financial assistance, is annual gifts keep facilities and programs open, important for physical, mental, spiritual health of the community. When the governor entered the previous phase before we moved to phase 3, for a brief 1 or 2 week period there, members could go get a script from their doctor and come in and use the YMCA. You talk about an important facility for mental health, for stress relief, for individuals, you know, that are struggling with diabetes or issues that just require an aquatic venue for a number of things, ailments that we think of, especially with our senior population. We were the only game in town for that. So those types, it was great to see the first day of that, the line of individuals with their doctor script coming in to use the Y. So our place in mental health and physical health still remains strong, even though it doesn't, you know, look at the same volume of folks coming in and out right now. So those are key things to be aware of as you talk to those potential donors. A couple of other things that I wanted to make sure everyone is aware of, and Erin alluded to it in her her comments, and that's utilize us however you need us. If you have a question or you have any type of need for materials, if you need a safe meeting place to meet with a donor, if you let us know in time, we can get an area for you safely set up with all the social distancing rules to meet in person. And the key thing we heard very early on in this this process, about 2 weeks into the shutdown, one of the consultants that Erin and I had a chance to be on a Zoom call with talked about making sure that you let the donor meet on their terms. So whether that's a phone conversation, whether that's still meeting in person with masks, whatever that is, let them drive how you're going to meet. You've always heard us say face to face, and that is still going to remain the most proven effective way to do that. But in this current time, let's make sure the donors are comfortable. We had a large donor that was in the building recently that was very clear that they wanted all the precautions followed through, which we do anyway, but we went the extra mile to do some of those things to make them comfortable, and even offered to meet on the phone, but they were still comfortable to end up coming in, and they ended up making a very significant gift to us that Erin led. So, being open and honest, and what we're finding too is they appreciate that concern for their health, and just a little subtle thing that we never would have thought of, because we would have been pushing, meet in person. The other thing along that note that I wanted to mention that we heard early on, again, 2 weeks into the shutdown, was for the first time they talked about brutal honesty in terms of where we are, in terms of the reality of our continued existence to serve the community, and talked about how it was okay, not to scare anybody, but just to be bold about the need and about how this has hit us hard. And that was early in the game. You know, that's when it looked like it may be a month or 2 months shutdown. So as this has progressed, and even though we're back open and we fight through these challenges, the things we're hearing out there is be bold and be honest and go big with your ask. We have had a list of donors, a list of 10 that we saw that were some high capacity donors, and then we've been working through that list. And the one promise that we've made to ourselves and whoever we've worked with those donors is that we won't backslide. We're going to let them tell us that that's too big right now. And the gift I mentioned that Aaron secured, that was one of those on that list of 10. And we've had some really good success with that as well as we move forward. So those are a few of the key points right now. I know that's a lot to throw at you, and we're going to have some time to answer specific questions that you have, especially where the approach is a little different, where John and Susan, we're not giving you your stack of cards and materials and here you go. It's looking a little bit different this year. And what's great is we're seeing who's responding to that initial mailing. We're able to send some videos. We're able to kind of walk them through the process while still making that personal connection, which is going to be critical in this. And that's what we're calling on you, all of you, to do. We have 24 campaigners signed up to help through the process that'll be trained in this format or in person. And the key to get us to the rest of our goal of $400,000 and beyond is going to be those $250, those $500 gifts that are still out there. And then you'll see your list, like Aaron said, of who hasn't gone ahead and mailed in the documentation. It's fun to sit back here and have the mailman come each day and see the stack of gifts that are being returned. So, yeah, so I've talked a lot. Aaron, follow up on anything that I missed, and then we'll open the floor for questions.
I'm just going to echo again what Kelly said. If there's anything that you might need, thank you cards, even if you need a couple stamps to send your thank you cards, just please get in touch with us. Let us know. Handwritten notes are always the best. We can give you YMCA thank you cards, but best practice that I've always tried to stick to is send it from your own personal stationery, or if you don't have your own personal stationery, maybe a pretty thank you note that's not just YMCA branded, which it is YMCA, but putting some thought, your own personal touch on it, it usually goes a lot farther. That's really all.
Okay. Questions from the group of anything I didn't cover or anything that doesn't make sense that we went over?
Does anybody have any concerns going into the campaign that maybe you would like some cheerleading and support on?
No, I think you all have done a very good job. You covered a lot of good points, and you know, with the questions we can look for, or you know, the different rebuttals we may hear or whatever. And like you said, Kelly, just be honest with the people. Say, yeah, the numbers are down, or this is this and this is that, and it's going to take some time to work our way through it. But I think we can get there. We do seem to have a good core group of people that are loyal and everything, and see the need. And like you said, Aaron, and that's a good point, Aaron, because I always use the Y stationery to write the thank you notes, but shoot, you can go to Dollar General and get some nice, pretty thank you notes, 20 of them or something like that for not much money, and it's more personal. That's a good idea. And I guess, Kelly, I don't know whether you or Beth will be sending a thank you note also to the people, or how's that going to happen?
So our process continues where we've got the same letter based on the amount of the gift. We have a rigid system in place of how we thank every donor with a letter. That happens naturally. And then as you go up on the amounts, the level of thank you touches increases with that, John, based on that amount. So.
Okay.
And you reminded me of something real important that I wanted to make sure I shared. You'll be getting an email shortly after our training today. And one of the things you're going to get is a more detailed version of what you saw with the handling responses from donors.
Good.
And it's going to actually be more of like a role play. This is actually the document. So you'll be receiving that from me after the meeting, so you'll have that as well. We didn't want to put you on the spot, do a role play on the Zoom, but maybe we'll do that for the Thursday folks.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. So great points, John. Any other questions?
We have about 5 more minutes. I hate to be the grandmother clock, but TikTok, Zoom, the free version of Zoom is 30 minutes.
Yeah. And we don't know what happens if the screen just goes blank or it slowly.
We don't know.
We'll see though. But we want to use all 30 minutes.
Yeah, right. Ooh.
I had a member ask if they specifically give for something like knowing that their money was going to go towards after school care. How could they be assured that that was where their money went?
Absolutely. And we can do that. And we actually flag that in our Bloomerang, our fundraising software. There's a section where it allows us to designate a gift, and we do that. We've got a number of donors that designate their gifts for aquatics, some with childcare, things of that nature, and we can absolutely do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, will they get a reply about that in the letter, in the thank you letter?
So our letters are usually pretty general about the annual campaign, but if you let us know, we can modify that, and if it's important to that donor that it's in the letter, that way we can absolutely say that.
Okay.
Just let us know that it's earmarked and, for that area, and we can flag that.
Okay.
Susan, that's a terrific question. And Aaron and Kelly, if I misspeak, correct me. One thing I like to say is, with a successful campaign, everything in our case is fully funded.
Right.
It's only when we don't reach our goal that those types of decisions need to be made. So thank you for your support, and please help us reach our goal. Is there anybody else who's as passionate about whatever that program is that you are? And would you be willing to help us? So again, it's a great rally cry, and say, you can know that that is going to be funded when we meet and exceed our goal. So
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Boy.
Yeah, and one of the things too, the reason we talk more general, Susan, and then just let a donor bring it up if they want it earmarked, is so we can put the dollars where the greatest need is. What happens when you publicize one program or over the other is that hot button will be with some, like the great senior membership we have here. It might be towards something for an arthritis program or something like that. And what happens is you see it a lot with kids charity things, is you get a lot of support going in that one area, and then it becomes difficult to fund the other things. So Walt's example is exactly right. But the reason we don't go out of our way to talk about designated gifts is for that exact reason. Not that it's not doable or it's okay. It's just that general gift is great, so that it's that greatest need where it goes. And then if you fully fund everything, it all becomes a non-issue.
Very good.
All right, we have about 3 minutes left. Does anyone else have any questions, comments, concerns, cries for help?
what prize will we get whoever turns in the first pledge after this call?
Ooh.
I got the answer. Amy's gonna laugh, and Kira too, and Troy. A $10 gift card to Baker's Kitchen.
There you go.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa, that's good.
And if you throw in a Twizzler, I'll get on that.
That's right.
They're right there.
So yeah, see, Walt, we had an answer for you. And that's legit. So
Kelly, will you have a timeline for us when you want pledges back in and this and that?
yeah, we've got this year, December 1st is the end of the Giving Tuesday. So we'll run right up to that point. We're right now, we're down to that final 10-12% of what we need to get to 400. But frankly, we're not even looking at that anymore. The need is so much greater. We just want to blow that out of the water and keep going, turn over every stone, making sure everybody's been asked the last 2 years that have given, and building for next year too. So some of those folks we've lost over the last couple of years, getting them back.
Right. Okay. Very good. Very
So
good.
December 1st.
Well,
Okay.
before this thing self-implodes, we're going to go ahead and thank you all for joining us
thank you.
today. And if you have any questions after, just send us an email, give us a call, and we're here to help however we can.
And if you want to stay on and watch how it ends,
Yeah, I'm interested
I'm
to
morbidly
see how it
curious too. And maybe it's just a fear factor thing where they say it shuts off after 30 minutes.
We'll
and
see.
I
we'll
think
find out.
I think it actually gives you 40 minutes because it'll start doing a countdown, I think, at 30.
Ah,
That's what I was about to say. I thought it was 40.
Yeah.
Oh, mine only let me choose 30 minutes.
we'll see. Oh,
Yeah,
here,
see,
Here we go.
yeah.
here it
Oh,
goes.
there it goes.
Unlimited minutes.
Oh, we get 10 more
see, and then-
minutes.
What
A
a-
gift from
thank you, Zoom.
Do you have a countdown for 10 minutes now? Or no?
That's great.
How
Yeah.
sweet of
Well,
them
great.
to
So,
do that.
Any other questions? Now that we rushed it through the question process.
Is there a minimum amount somebody can pledge?
The only minimums we have are some things internally with employee giving,
Right.
but not on a other pledge. I think
Right.
the smallest I've seen is maybe $100.
But like if you want to break down that $100 pledge for a monthly payment or a quarterly payment, is there a minimum? Like we're not going to bill for less than $5 a month or something like that, or?
That's not come up, but what I would do if that happened, Walt, rather than have everybody worry about a policy or anything on that, is we would just work with that donor to set something up, and in a nice way I would explain, the processing of this. Is there a way that you could, work with them? Most importantly, making sure their gift felt appreciated,
Right.
which is what we're trying to do with some changes we've made with employee giving that went under certain thresholds. When you look at the amount of touches that we put on processing that between Shannon and us, we're trying to be respectful of the budget and everybody's time too. So I've typically handled those on a case by case. It's a good question, but honestly, in the last 2 campaigns we've analyzed, that's been a non-issue.
Non-issue, yeah.
I don't know if this might work for folks, but I was on a call with Amy this morning and they were talking about how cool and how much folks are looking forward to 2021 and having 2020 behind us.
Yeah.
And so what a cool way to ask folks, you're pretty looking forward to next year. Well, so are we. Could you give $21 4 times a year?
Ooh,
Quarterly?
beautiful.
And that's an $84 gift. And that's only, $5 a month. Or, could you give $21 a month to the Y next year for 2021? And that would be a $262 gift. So again, use the power of the pledge and folks will give less. That just sounds like if you ask me for $262, I might say no.
Yeah.
But if you ask me for, $21 a month, I might do that. So, kind of think about, how you can motivate your donor and maybe use 2021 as a talking point, for making an impact.
That makes them part of the solution. They feel good about that. And I like how that quantifies it with that. So very good.
Anyone else?
No.
All right.
Great questions.
And thank you, Walt, for being with us today and participating. We greatly appreciate your insight and knowledge.
I don't mean to play favorites, but that Thursday group really has to up their game to even come close to this. So thanks, everybody.
And you all look wonderful, so this will be a great recording.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, boy. Well, thank you all for all your work you do. You've done a tremendous job to get us where we are so far, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thanks,
John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
Thank you. You too.